So my role is to coordinate the missionaries and also the ward as well, just to make sure that the missionary work in the Preston ward goes forward and that there's opportunities for them to get involved with the ward members, and also for the ward members to get involved with the missionary work. That's the most important thing.
And in terms of the missionaries, how many are you overseeing at the moment?
We currently have 6 in our ward. We have 4 guys, which we call elders, and 2 girls, which we call sisters.
And where are they from? Are they from all over the world, or is it predominantly from the US?
They are from all over the world. Currently, we have one of the sisters is from Hong Kong. You will find that the majority of the missionaries are from Utah, because that's kind of where the central of the LDS church is in America. So you do get a lot of them. But we have missionaries from all over the world, and I've known them from everywhere, pretty much everywhere.
Okay, and what kind of projects do you have within the Preston community?
Okay, so the church as a whole has a project called Helping Hands. So once a month on a Saturday, the ward members will come together and do something for the ward. Quite often it's sort of like clean up operations and things like that. So there is a lot of that going on. So that's a sort of formal arrangement once a month. But outside of that, there's a lot of informal things. There's a lot of people going and spending time with people, like helping them gardening, helping people do other jobs and things like that. But also within the actual ward itself, there's a lot of focus on reaching out to the ward members. So anyone that goes to our ward will get visited once a month by 2 of the guys and by 2 of the sisters. For the ladies, they'll get visited by 2 of the females, and they're there to basically give them a spiritual message, which we're given each month from the prophet, but also just to make sure that the family is doing all right, see if there's anything they could do to help them. So there's a very much a community feel about the church.
And what's the response like from the locals, or from the people who aren't directly involved with your church in Preston and in the wider area?
Well, it's interesting you should ask that, because I'm learning, having only been in Preston for a short while, I'm learning about the different attitudes up here. One of the things is that the church has been established in Preston for a very, very long time, and so the majority of people are very much aware of the LDS church and aware of our religion and a lot of the things that are pertaining to that. And so there's quite a warm. We're met quite warmly for certainly the missionaries when they're proselyting on the streets and they're meeting people. But in the wider area, I'd say in the UK in general, people aren't as aware of the LDS church as they are in other countries, especially like America, where it's widely known. And so there's a lot of misunderstanding. There's a lot of misunderstanding about the LDS church and certain things regarding our religion.
And is it part of your job to try and kind of shatter those illusions and to try and spread to people a message that it's not what they might think they know? It's actually, what you're saying and what you're doing. And does that kind of community project you have going, does that help people to understand your real message?
Absolutely, definitely, it really, really does, because the message is, we are followers of Jesus Christ, and so in doing service for the wider community, we are following in Christ's footsteps, and it's just a show of love, really. The most important thing is that we always help people to understand that we love them and that we care about them, and that our religion is all about serving others. That's what it's all about. And so people will hear specific things about specific doctrines and they will be taken out of context. And so, part of my role is to help dispel those sort of false understandings and help people to understand what the church is all about. And that's really the role of the missionaries and the missionary work in general. It's to bring people to an understanding of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and what the doctrine is all about.
And just talking about yourself for a moment, when did you start to get involved with the Church of Latter-day Saints, and how has it changed your life?
Okay, so I've been a member for just over 3 years. It was actually 3 years last Wednesday that I was baptised. So I became aware of the church a few years before. A good friend of mine, who's now my best friend and my business partner as well, we were working together, and he was very open about his faith, and then we used to have lots of conversations about it. Then we started lift sharing, and then he asked me if I wanted to read the Book of Mormon, and I started to reading it. And first time I read it, I didn't really feel an awful lot, didn't really come around to it so much, but 2 years later, I just finished university, and I felt a very strong spiritual urge to try and gain further understanding. And I went back and spoke with him, and we spent 3 evenings talking about the gospel. And by the end of the third evening, I knew it was true. I had a testimony of Joseph Smith, the prophet. And so in that time, since I've become involved in the church, my life has changed a great deal, in so much that I have a lot more happiness and a lot more peace and joy and understanding. For me, understanding the doctrine of the church, understanding what Jesus Christ was helping us to understand, has given me a direction in life and an understanding of things that I didn't have before. And that's just the spine of it, really. The offshoots are various things, such as the word of wisdom and all sorts of things that we live in accordance to God's commandments that are for our benefit and keep us safe, And big things that would be stereotyped, I guess, to Mormons would be like not drinking alcohol. So I haven't drunk alcohol for over 3 years. And that has changed my life in so much that I don't have hangovers anymore. I don't do crazy stuff that ends up on Facebook when I've had a few to drink, and there's just lots of things. But all the doctrine is all about keeping us safe and keeping us close to God, so that we might become more like Him, because that's the goal. That's the goal, to be with Him eventually.